Unmute yourself. What's going on, everybody?
What's up, good peoples?
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome, y'all.
Guess what? It's relationship Q&A.
You ain't got your mic.
I have my mic?
Nah, you don't.
Oh, my bad. I'm trying to
What's
see
up,
something
good
here.
peoples?
There we go. Welcome, everybody. It's Thursday. What's going on? It's Thursday. Come on into the room. And hang with us a little bit on this Thursday. Hang with us, hang with us. All right. Welcome, everybody. We're so glad you're coming into the room. We see you, Instagram. We see you, Facebook. We see you, YouTube. We see you. What's going on, Dee Dee, Monique Williams, wherever you're watching from, go ahead and let us know where you're watching from. Drop it in the chat. We see our Blamily on Zoom. What's going on, folks?
What's up, y'all?
Everybody, I'm just going to say this right off the top. Right off the top. If you don't know about the challenge, the challenge is coming up that we are starting on Monday of next week.
Yes, indeed.
If you don't know nothing about that, you need to go to Blam Challenge right now. Don't leave. Just go to another page. Does that make sense? Another page?
Yeah, go to another tab.
Go to another tab.
Another window, another tab.
And go to
a 5 days to more effective communication challenge coming up on Monday.
5 days to more effective communication. What's up? Oakland is in the house. Peace and blessings. Campbell, Ohio is in the house. I see you guys. Brooklyn, New York. What's going on, Blamily? We see you, Anthony, Brenton, Danielle, Darius. We see a whole lot of folks. We're just San Diego. Okay, Zanetta. That's it, right? Zanetta? In San Diego, California. Arkansas is in the house. Y'all, we are going to do some relationship Q&A on this Relationship Thursday, and we are going to have a good time this evening because when y'all share and when you are transparent, when you're open, when you're sharing your thoughts and feelings and getting feedback, right, everybody wins. Everybody gets something. So that's why we always say, why do married folks and folks in committed relationships, why do we keep stuff to ourselves? Why do we not share? Why do we not say what's really real? Why we just like to make things look good sometimes, but not really share the whole story? Because a lot of times we get a lot of judgment, we get a lot of funkiness. But tonight we are going to make it do what it do. We're going to answer some questions that have come in. If you have questions, you can drop them in the chat. Thank you for all the hearts, y'all. Thank you for the hearts on Instagram. You can drop them in the chat if you have questions. But before I go any further,
you better tell me
I don't get my mic.
Yeah, get your mic.
Can't y'all hear me just fine?
No, get your mic. Like, I mean, it's the same old.
I'm louder
this is
than you
2023.
are.
This is 2023. Can we switch it up and do something different in 2023? Can we? Can you just show up with your mic?
I see your questions coming in.
This is a constant thing.
Folks are dropping questions already. Hey, Facebook and IG. Blamily, you can do the same thing. You can raise your virtual hand because you're in the Zoom room, or you can direct message us. So anyway, I got my mic. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to bring it over here. Thank you, Jackie. Jackie said, I hear you. All right, this is my dapper, debonair best friend, my boyfriend, my husband, my confidant, my boo baby, the one that I've been kind of like all over the last few days. Like, can you come be with me? Can you spend some time with me? Just come over here, get in the bed and cuddle me.
Why you been like that?
I don't know. I be like that sometimes, and I've been like that. I do notice that I have been like that.
Yeah.
And you've been doing all right. You're doing all right responding.
All right, just all
doing
right.
Okay.
Okay.
You're doing okay.
What
You
do I
usually
need to
do decent, but because we got a challenge coming up, he like, wait a minute, I'm doing something. Wait a minute. I'm like, damn. What he said, wait a minute, so many times to me, it made me think about my 6-year-old. Like, let me make sure when he's saying, you know how 6-year-olds, they ask you stuff all the time, like, mommy. I said, let me make sure I'm answering him and being like, yes, babe. Because I'm like, dad, my 6-year-old don't feel like this. Like, wait a minute, I'm making a dinner. Wait a minute, I'm doing this. Wait a minute. Let me make sure I'm attending to him because I'm feeling like, dang, you give me a lot of wait a minutes and shit.
But this right here is my beautiful, my lovely, my incredible, my sensational, my spectacular, my delectable, my fantastic,
Oh, thank you, babe.
This is my fantastic, beautiful. This is my baby, y'all. This is my wifey, Yana. But let me ask you this question now. So this is a great place to start. You know, you said that you've been a little bit more clingy, wanting attention.
I didn't use that word, but
I'm saying that though.
Maybe I did. I don't know. But
that's what I'm saying. A little bit more clingy, wanting attention, wanting me to be all up on you, wanting to be all up on me. How does it feel to you when I say, give me a second, hold up, not right now, just 1 minute. How does it feel to you?
Like, no, like, I just don't want to wait. No, I don't, it feels, I don't feel rejected or anything. Justice Johnson's, hey. I see your questions. We're going to get to your question just 1 second. I just feel like, no, I don't care about what you're doing. That's what I feel. That he asked me, I don't really care about what's going on. I know what I want. I need touch, attention, time right now.
So you don't feel rejected?
I don't.
Why?
Not that I never have, but I generally don't. Because I know you're going to circle back to me. You're going to make sure I'm good. So it's just a matter of me just hold off for a second. But I know you're gonna get me. Thank you, Ellen. Ellen said, "Give me what I want." That's how I feel.
But why you know that I'm gonna circle back?
Why does your head keep hanging out this? You're not paying attention.
Why you know that I'm gonna circle back to you?
Well, I feel like my husband tells me sometimes I ask a lot of leading questions.
I just want to know,
and like I think that I already know what I'm trying to get at. So why not just say it? I feel like you're doing that with me right now.
I'm asking you the questions because I think that the information is helpful. I mean, you said that you don't feel rejected, but a lot of people do feel rejected. A lot of people do feel rejected when they make a bid for a connection.
Why are you telling me my earring is off?
A lot of people do feel rejected when they make a bid for a connection and it's not reciprocated. And so my question is, like, you don't feel rejected for a reason because you know that I'm going to circle back to you. But why do you know that I'm going to circle back to you? Like, how do you know that? Do you just believe that? Like, why do you know that?
Because we got history and you get me. And you know what I'm saying? You might not get me every time, but generally speaking, you're going to make sure that you attend to me. And also, I mean, I'm not, it's a lot of folks who have a hard time with sharing what they need or asking for what they want. And I'm just not that. So so even if you don't get me, like you just like missing me, I'm coming back. I'm going to be like, hey, where you at? Remember what I said 30 minutes ago? Remember what I said earlier? I'm going to come back. So I'm going to get my needs, man. I'm going to ask for what I need. Let that be a lesson for all of the folks. We say it all the time who don't want to ask for what they need. You got to ask for what you need because he does get me, but half of that, maybe not half of it because you're really good, but a good amount of it is also me making sure that I'm asking for what I need. It's not really your responsibility to read my mind. It's my responsibility to share what I'm needing. So that's what it is. That's what you wanted the folks to hear.
No, I just wanted, if there's something in there because a lot of times, and this is for all of the people who are on here, specifically the Blamely, like y'all live your lives in a particular way and you connect, you show, affection, PDAs, whatever it may be. And sometimes we take some of the small things that we do for granted. And I think that it's important whenever you can to be able to tease those things out and then share what it is. Because some of the things, your duh is somebody's aha.
Say that again.
Your duh is somebody else's aha.
Right.
And again, if you're doing it and you're making it work, then sometimes, like I said, you got to tease out like just the pieces, the steps, the nuance, so that you can better share, what other people might possibly be able to apply to their relationship. So I just wanted to lift that piece up.
Yeah. So we got questions coming to y'all. We're going to get right to it. If you just hopped on Instagram or Facebook, ain't nobody just hopped on in the Zoom. That's the Blamely. That's the Blamely.
Who are the Blamely?
Those are our folks, our family. They are part of our community. These are fabulous individuals and couples who are serious about doing their personal work and their relationship work. And so they sit on here with us on Zoom. And so wherever you are watching from, you can drop questions tonight because we're just going to answer some questions. And you may have some thoughts and some answers as you hear from folks. So go ahead and share. So I saw some questions. How we going y'all just pray for us. We trying to work it out. All right. There was a question. Oh, wait a minute. Let me look at this right here. Is this it? No. Okay. Sorry. I'm finding this question. Okay. So somebody said, what if you do not have an affectionate spouse? What if you don't have an affectionate spouse? And I think that they were responding to the fact that I was saying I'm being a little more like this because I need more touch and attention and whatever. It's probably my hormones for real. It's probably what it is.
Mm.
But what if you don't have an affectionate spouse? What you got to say?
I mean, that's real, and you know, I think that just because you don't have an affectionate spouse, it doesn't mean that they're not looking for a connection. So I want you to pay attention to that. Like, you know, in the absence of affection, there can still be an appetite for connection. And so it may not look like you being all, you know, touchy feely and rubby
But I
and
want that.
all of that. You know, it may not be like that. Your spouse. Now, if you're speaking about your needs or your
They
spouse's
talking
needs,
about their needs.
okay. So if
I
you,
mean, I'm assuming.
all right, so let me just stick with what I'm saying right now. So your spouse is not the affectionate one, but you, based off of physical touch being your love language, you're trying to exhibit it towards your spouse. Number one, you want to make sure you're paying attention to what your spouse's love language is. You can sometimes, if quality time is their love language, then you can actually be in the same space, be in the same room, be walking, and not be doing all of this right here. Not be, you know, bundled up and kissing and stuff when y'all are going for walks and
Keep doing
holding
that. I
hands.
like how you just
You
give
like
me an
that,
example.
You ain't gotta do all of that. You know, they just might want you to be in their physical presence. And so again, to be connected, you know, without the affection, sometimes you got to make room for that. Now, keep in mind too that a part of the lack of affection in a relationship or for a particular person may be based off of their touch history too. That's something that I do want to lift up because some people who have experienced trauma, you know, any type of you know, molestation or anything along those lines, they sometimes
Chanel.
respond in a particular way where they recoil, they jump, they you know, respond adversely to physical touch, to physical contact, and not even just that. When you're in their physical presence, like if you're too close, that right there may be problematic too. So you want to make sure that you are sensitive to your spouse's touch history, and you make room for that, and you grow into maybe even the possibility of you all exploring what it looks like for you to get closer, for you to move closer toward them and to be maybe a little bit more affectionate, or what acceptable affection looks like to them. But again, it's a graduated process. Now for you, it's still your responsibility to express what your need is. So your spouse may not be the affectionate person, but if that's a need that you have, it's still important that you lift it up.
And the relationship needs it. Whether you think all my non-affectionate people out there, whether you think you need it or not, the relationship need it. Healthy, strong relationships need connection. All people are wired for connection. Emotional connection, physical connection. Even if we have history that took us away from that or makes us a little less comfortable, we still at our baseline need it and desire it, but we just may not be as familiar with it. Okay,
so you can understand the resistance, that's one thing, but it still doesn't mean that you shouldn't lift up and express what your need is. And so if they're averse to being affectionate, what I would recommend is that you lift up why it means what it means to you, the importance and significance of it in a relationship, and you do it in such a way where you're still attempting to be sensitive to where they may possibly be in reference to touch. Again, keep on placing it on the table, and then you also may want to introduce certain things that are not as over the top as you might feel comfortable with. Small things, you know, you gradually get them to a place where, you know, they're sitting next to you, maybe touching your leg. You're going for a walk and you're holding hands. Do small things.
Little
and
things
small
are the big
things
things.
in private may
Like
lead
I
to
say,
some
touching
small
my leg
things.
right now.
Yeah, y'all can't even see that.
But I
you
like
know,
it.
but small things in private may lead to small things in public. And it might not even be about a public display of affection. But again, you want to make sure you're starting off small. And as long as you feel the safety and the comfort in private, then you can possibly expand to other things. But again, start off small.
Yeah.
Start off small. Something that's reasonable and comfortable.
And
for
respect
your
each other's boundaries. Respect your partner's boundaries. My husband is a very PDA person. I'm a medium PDA person. You know what I'm saying?
Blowing me, yo.
And I'm like, he be wanting to, like, you know, and we
we do our thing, yeah. We do.
But like, I'm like, you know how like the kiss is over. Like we don't kiss like, right? 3 good joints, right? And I'm like, he like, come on, let's keep going. I'm like, start to look around. Like,
and I'll be like, why are you looking around?
Are people watching us?
Be here with me. Like I'm like block everything
You can get me to lock in, but like you just have to respect. Like I'm probably gonna always be like that, but my husband knows how to get me to lock in. But yeah, he literally be thinking like it don't matter. Like it don't matter. It's just me and you right here. To kind of go on to the next question. This is kind of in the same realm. If you're just joining us tonight on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, we're talking about whatever you want to talk about. We're answering questions. And right now we're talking about intimacy, right? And affection. Somebody says, how do you get through a moment of intimacy when your partner starts to cry during that moment? We talk it out, but now the mood has gone away from me. And she wants to continue, but I'm not in that space at the time. I'm going to leave that to you too.
Why are you going to leave that to me too? I answered the first one.
I'm just saying, he said she's
All
not
right,
in
so-
that space.
okay,
So it's a guy
okay.
asking that question, and
All
she's
right.
crying, you know, and he like, I'm not in the mood no more. And she's like, let's, you know. This
Yeah.
reminds me of, maybe this is not the same thing. Our Blamley knows this story. This reminds me of a one time, y'all. Maybe this don't really connect, but hopefully it does. But this reminds me of one time when we were connecting. We were laying on the bed, we were talking and or whatever, just a little bit. And so, but we knew where we were going. We were getting ready to get it in, right?
And my wife wanted to have a deep conversation.
And I asked him some kind of question that was, you know, it was a deeper kind of question.
And I'm like, why? I'm like, damn, Gina, like, why?
But for me,
why right now?
For me, it was like, if, you know, we can just kind of vibe right there, like, oh, I'm just going to feel you even more. And we about to get it on. For him, he was like, you said something very rude, like you messing up the moment, or like, why you gotta try and mess up the moment? You messing it up, or something like that. And my feelings was hurt. But it makes me think about the fact that what gets up like that actually opened me up to have that intimate conversation. For you, you said you was just like, I wasn't even feeling it no more. Like your jump was like, that's what you said. And so,
Slim went to sleep.
And so we just have to pay attention to sometimes that there are differences, right? But we have to make room and like not attach that to us. Like it's not about me. It's about like the fact that we're wired differently. But anyway, I did say you was gonna answer and I started talking, so my bad.
Yeah, what was the
question was about?
I mean, what was the point? Are you that we wired differently?
What was my point?
Yeah.
That is normal, that we're wired differently. And sometimes as couples, we don't talk about the fact that, like, you know, you don't talk about it at the time. Let me just say this right now. Whatever's happening in the bedroom, you don't talk about the awkwardness at the time. Some people can get to that place, but for the most part, you need to just kind of be supportive and flow in the moment. And then later on at another time when things aren't feeling sensitive, right, be like, you know, we had that the other day and you start crying. Like I really appreciated that you felt comfortable to talk to me and to be open, right? But like when we're in those places, like I don't want you to feel any type of way, but I'm just not in a place anymore. Like it feels like I'm just not in that space anymore. So I just want you to know sometimes if I'm not giving you the same energy, it's not because I don't appreciate you sharing what you're sharing, but I'm just in a different place, right? Like talk about it and don't take it personally, I think is my point, because we're all wired differently. You know, different things get us off and different things turn us up and different things turn us down, right?
Yeah. So this brother said we talked about it and now the mood has gone away from me. And his partner, they want to continue, but I'm not in that space. And so here's the thing, a lot of it, you know, I think for men, but also women too. Well, I'm gonna say specifically for men, that you know, one of the quickest turnoffs is what you're talking about. And so I think that women, when you want to bring up certain conversations or have certain moments, especially when it pertains to y'all about to get busy, you know, and for some men, as you age, like there's a window of opportunity. And you know, you got to be sensitive to the fact that, like, I'm trying to make sure that all cylinders are clicking for these moments in this window that I have. And so any interruption, any interjection, it feels like an interception, like you intercepted the moment, intercepted the pass, and I was about to score. And so anything like that, it definitely can spoil a moment. What? So
only my Blamily knows it, but you know how you get your notifications? The notification just came in on my TikTok and it said, "We got crabs just commented on our video."
Really, bro?
We got crabs. I'm about to follow y'all. Okay, really? I'm sorry. I just had to say that.
Right there was an interception.
That was the only that I needed. Order some crabs.
And she just intercepted the point that I was trying to make.
Literally just dropped down. We got crabs. Commented on your. Yo.
So here's the thing. Like, and sorry. I get based off of the sensitivity of what's being lifted up. Like, you know, what was expressed was that she essentially started crying. And so it's a moment. It's a moment. And you want to make sure that you're making room.
And we'll know what you're crying about. It could be some serious stuff.
You want to make sure that you're making room. And again, ladies, there's a way to get him back. You know, we'll talk about that
You
you
talking
know,
about
in
getting
the
back,
blam.
getting back up?
Yeah, not just get them back up, but get them back in that headspace. Again, a lot of
Oh,
it is based off of like, what are we talking about? What have you been thrown by, or what emotional or mental space have you been put in, which led you to a state of crying? But you can work your way back into it. But it's going to take time. It definitely does take time. And one of the things that I would lift up is that it's important to reassure him, and to let him know why.
you talking
Um,
to her, but he the one asking.
I know, but if the objective and the idea is to,
Good Lord,
because you're scrolling so much, like I can't see some of these things.
my bad. It's
Um,
just so
if
many
the objective and
comments.
the idea is for y'all to continue doing the thing, and he's up for it, then I think that, based off of your approach, based off of your energy, based off of your reassurance, and based off of you emphasizing why you want to do it and why you want him, you can turn that thing back around. Again, for the brother, what I would say is that just be open, because it absolutely can be a moment for extreme connection, for a heightened level of intimacy.
Might be just something you're
Because
not used to.
yeah, it just requires a certain level of vulnerability on your part. Like
Ah,
when you
there it
start to
is.
see your woman cry, make room for that, bro. Make room for that. And again, it can open a pathway or a door for you all to experience a heightened level of intimacy. The love making might just be that more banging, just simply because she got them tears for him. And if she's opening herself up to you just all the more,
Thank you.
amazing than what she may have ordinarily had done. So again, just be open to it. But ladies, I would definitely be mindful about the conversation. Sometimes it come out the blue, but just be mindful. Don't be try to make that
And
the
sometimes you
minority of
just
the
need to be
time
there
versus the
for it.
majority. Yeah.
And you need to answer the question, and then I want your bottom lip to tremble, and for you to have a tear to come down, and then we just make love and be so beautiful.
Occasionally.
Every
Occasionally.
now and then it might be
Yeah,
good.
but it can't be the
It
only
might
one
be
thing, though.
good. Thank you, Justice Johnson. He said, tell everybody to put their question in the question box so you don't have to find them. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And somebody else
Help
gave us game
us,
too
old people. Help
on
us.
IG. They were like, you can pin the video to the top,
We
and
don't know how to do none of
yeah,
that
I don't
stuff.
understand that.
So
So
help us out, y'all. Help us out. So yes, please put your questions in the question box, and hopefully we'll find the question box to open it up
we see the question
and look
box.
at it. Okay, I don't even know what the hell the question
We got
box
one
is, but
question
I
in there
know we
right
can
now.
figure it. I know we can figure it out. Thank you. Somebody said y'all still active in the bedroom.
Is
Yes.
who still active?
Are we still active in the bedroom? We could do. I just realized we're just getting a little older. People asking like, are y'all still active at your age?
At your age, really?
But somebody did ask that question. Yes, we are.
So let me answer this question.
Quite.
Um,
Who question you asking? You asking who?
I'm answering that question.
Oh.
So and this is for the folks who may be new to marriage, because there is this stigma,
Yes.
this belief that
Thank
as your
you.
marriage matures, as you get older, that the intimacy has to decline.
No.
The reality is that, like, our sex life is more popping than it ever has been.
Ever.
Ever.
I don't go on the levels and explored
Yeah,
territory.
and-
I'm like, what is this?
and-
Where are we? And I say like, just look around.
Just trust me, baby. Just be easy. Just trust me. And so, like, it don't. But here's the piece, y'all. What I really want to lift up is that what enables that to take place is our motto is relationship work is personal work, and so allowing yourself to be open to exploration, self-exploration, allowing yourself to be open and available to your partner, allowing a sense of vulnerability to be present, being able to verbalize and express what your wants and needs are, what your likes and what your interests are, making room for changes. All of that right there, it makes room for you all to explore each other intimately and, mature in that process. And so, like, yeah, it's amazing. And it's gonna
Learn
keep
how
on
to.
being even more better. Yeah, I see the comment. Yeah, it's
I need to learn how to boost some people out.
yeah.
Okay, but anyway.
Can we be respectful?
How you gonna say that? How you gonna say that? You just booted him out? Okay, thank you. Ooh, Lordy B. All right, so that threw me. Okay, now what's the next thing I was
Kid
gonna
there
say?
laughing. He like y'all in there. Y'all need to stay in the blam streets. Like, get off that Instagram
I'm like,
stuff.
what kind of comment is this? I'm gonna come tell y'all later, but I'm like, Jesus. Woo! I'm out here. I'm outside the house. I'm in territory I'm not used to. But wait a minute. I was going to say something. Oh, somebody said the next question we just got was, how do you keep God at the center of your relationship? How do you keep God at the center? What you doing, babe? You're doing too much right now.
Hold on.
Okay, but anyway, how do you keep God at the center of your relationship? So here's something. I want to just share this. I think this is a really, really, really good question. And I think it's a really good question because I think a lot of times couples, while you know that the two of you believe in God, you are believers, and you know that that is your first priority, your faith life and that kind of thing, right? A lot of times people don't talk about the fact that there are disconnects in terms of how men and women experience God, how two people experience their relationship with God, with spirituality, with religion, all of that kind of stuff, right? And so I think one of the things that's been helpful for us is to get really clear about the fact that we have to have rituals. We got to have things that we do together that bring us closer spiritually. And we want to do that not only with our family, but with one another. And we also make room for doing some things and negotiating with one another so that I can come down his lane, because the way he experiences a closeness to the Creator is different than how I do. Not all the time, not in every way. But I can remember this. Let me tell you the story. Way back, some Blamley already knows this story. But when we were, dang, why I keep going? Why I keep doing that?
I know, right?
But way back when we were younger, we're still young, but when we were younger, I'm a PK, I'm a preacher's kid, right? So we went to church every Sunday, and I was in the choir, and I was president of the youth group, and then I was doing, that's just what we did. And his mother went to church more than probably my parents, and they was the pastors, and she probably was in more than my parents. His mother stayed up in the church, and his daddy, right? So anyway, all that to say that the vision I have for our young children, we don't have no little, we do have a 6-year-old. Oh, okay, never mind. We do got one little kid. That's our surprise baby. But everybody else is teenager and young adults. But my idea was that I was like, we're going to go to church together, and we get up and we go together. And I didn't want to go by myself and take all these damn kids. And I didn't want them to be thinking like, oh, she in here, she got all these kids, 4 kids, you coming in here by yourself, right? Like, I just did not want to go by myself. I know some people know what I'm talking about in terms of feeling like you're alone. And one of the things we had to negotiate early on in terms of our spiritual path, and I had to learn, is to make room for my husband. So we negotiated, and we talked about the fact, he said, I will come to church, right? This may not be acceptable for everybody, but it worked for us. I will come to church every other Sunday. I don't want to go to church every Sunday. That's not what I want to do. I want to be able to connect in differently, right? And his thing is like, if he could get there after the praise and worship, be there for the sermon, and when it's over, get up. Like, he done. I want the whole experience. I want to be there from the beginning. I want to hear the music at the beginning. I want to be in it. I want to be able to feel it. I want to go downstairs afterwards. I want to talk to people. I want to experience the whole thing. And he like, just give me the message and I'm done. You know what I mean? So we had to make room for the fact that we experienced our connection and our spiritual path differently. So I think you have to have rituals for yourself that you do in your own household, but you also have to be willing to negotiate, because men and women are different in terms of how, and people are just different, right? In terms of how we see God, experience God. But as a family and as a couple, you want to be able to come together in some way. So you got to be intentional about that and make room for one another. Woo! That's my answer. That was a lot. That felt like I took a lot.
Let's go over here to the Blamley.
All right, we come to the Blamley. Any questions that you had that you want to ask us? I think we have a couple more questions over here. You supposed to be looking at that. Okay, I'm gonna share the next question while you do that. Let me see.
I'm curious to know, and this is just a test.
Okay. Well, we got some more questions.
I know we do, but I see Tony's face right here in the top of my screen.
He was gonna call you out.
So to that last question about how you keep God at the center of your marriage, I'm curious to know. This is a test. I want to see whether or not IG can actually hear what you're saying. So Tony, if you can come forward.
Whether IG? Oh, you want to see if they?
Yeah, but I gotta unmute her. So give me 1 second.
Did Tony have her hand up?
She didn't. But
He's like, what am I supposed to? She's like, what am I supposed to be saying?
Well, I figured that Tony would probably have something to say on this.
We always do that to Tony. We always like, Tony has something to say. We don't know, but she'll speak on it.
See if you can.
So we just say a few words, Tony, because I guess you're trying to see if Instagram folks.
Share what you can share, but yeah.
Tell us if you can hear. I don't think they're gonna hear her though.
They might.
All right, go ahead. Make sure.
Okay, so hello everybody. Instagram, if you can hear me. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? No.
Let us know, IG.
So the thing about us is we came into this thing God first. When we met, we were on a community choir, not the church choir, we were there on purpose every Wednesday. I came to sing, he came to sing. So,
okay.
And it was more than just sing. It was God was my everything.
Oh, y'all can hear her. Y'all can hear her.
And
okay, sorry.
God was his everything. And so putting God first, and we was good and grown, right? We got married at 33 and 36. So we was good and grown. We already know that it's God first, and then me, and then you. And then we figured it all out, how to make it all, how to work the us part of it out. So for us in our relationship, we still know it's God first.
Yeah.
Now, do we listen? We still argue about stuff because I'm ready to go back to church. It's 2023. COVID is gone. Let's get back to church. And I'm like you, Ayana. I'm like, I need it from when the doors open. I want to be right there opening the door.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want to go downstairs and I want to talk. And then when we all leave from here, let's go out to eat. And then
Yes.
the whole
Let's go have
thing.
brunch. Let's do it
He
all.
done got good and comfortable. He done got good and comfortable with watching the word in the bedroom. He like, oh, I'm good. And if he miss anything on Sunday morning, all he gotta do is run that back because it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, same word.
Right.
Like you have to wait until the next week to get some more.
That's good.
For us, it's always a God first.
Okay. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I appreciate that, Tony. Thanks for sharing that, sis.
I'm so like amazed that y'all can hear her. I'm just amazed. I'm like, wow, this is cool.
Yeah, so the voice that y'all are hearing is somebody from our Blamely. They're on Zoom, interacting with us.
Did you just see that question?
No.
So, dang it, how do you see these questions on YouTube? I want to, because, hey, what's up, YouTube? I want to make sure that we don't leave y'all out. So, I saw it, but, Ebony, was that you? I don't know. Hey, Ebony. I saw your question, but I don't remember what you said. So, we're going to try to find it again. Say it again. If you can say it again, it'll pop up for us. I know that's right. Somebody said on IG, Gladys said, marriage without God is just child's play. Okay, Marquita said, how do you allow your partner to be vulnerable without taking it as a personal attack when it relates to your personal action or to relates to your actions? Okay, so basically, I'm assuming what you're saying is you say something to me, we're having a disagreement, maybe it's not a disagreement, a conversation, whatever, and you're sharing with me vulnerably how you feel or how you're experiencing me, but what you're saying about me, right, feels some type of way, feels like you're coming from me, and that's just, that's not true. I can even hear people saying like, okay, I hear what you're saying, but that's not true. But that's not true. That's not what I said, or that's not what I meant, right? And what I will just say to quickly answer that question is, you either got to decide what is your goal when you're in conversation, when you're communicating with your partner. Is your goal to be a person who's trying to get some understanding? You're trying to understand your partner. Or you're trying to be understood. If your partner is sharing with you and you know that they're being vulnerable, your job is to seek understanding. You're trying to understand them, not trying to be understood. So if they say something to you that throws you and make you be like, I know they ain't coming like that. I know they ain't thinking about me in that way. You have to put that to the side. You have to settle that down. You have to pin that for later so that you can hold space for them and be there for them in that moment, so that, in fact, you won't actually discourage what you really want, which is for them to be vulnerable. Because if you come back and start to make it an argument, right, not saying you will, or contest what they're saying, then they're not going to share with you no more, right? So we have to remember, when someone is sharing with us, when our partner is sharing with us, it's our job to understand where they're coming from. And whatever reactions we're having, we got to self-soothe and we got to ground ourselves and come back to that later.
Mm-hmm.
And when we're sharing, our partner's job is to seek to understand us. You can't do both. You got to do one or the other. You got to prioritize one or the other. Okay. All right, y'all. We got a couple more questions here.
Let me.
You're gonna answer this one? At me answer the next one?
I just want, because I know the Greens had their hand up, so I just wanted to see if they wanted to share something really quickly. I believe it was in reference to the keeping God first question. So if y'all want to,
where y'all at?
come forward. I believe it was Marquita. She had her hand up. You might not still be on here.
If you do, just
Marquita
raise.
over here said thank you.
You're welcome, Marquita. Raise your hand again if you're still here and you wanted to share. Okay.
All right.
All right. So the next question that I see: how do I make my wife happy again when I'm trying everything she asks? When I start doing what she asks, she tells me I'm getting on her nerves.
Say that again. How do I make my wife happy again when I'm trying?
It'd be like that sometimes.
Everything she asks.
I'm trying to do everything she asks.
When I started doing what she asks, she tells me I'm getting on her nerves. Here's the thing, like, and a lot of brothers, they miss this piece. Um, they don't want you to do it because they asked. They want you to do it, and they want you to be the one who's leading the initiative to get it done, not necessarily in response or as a reaction to them. Like, drive the conversation, bro. Drive the forward movement. Don't just be responsive or reactive. I mean, drive it.
Yeah,
Drive it. And
don't
so,
check the box.
yeah, don't check the box. And so again, the irritation a lot of times comes. I might ask you to do something, but I'm irritated about the fact that I even got to ask you. Where is your leadership? That's what a lot of women are looking for, is the leadership. And so that's one piece. Now, she may have her own individual issues that she has to deal with, but what I would say is that, like, stop waiting for her. Take the lead. Take the lead. The information has already been given. You've already been given clues based off of what it is that she's expressed that she wants. Like, outside of the time periods when she's expressing it, take the lead, show your leadership, and do some of those things.
That's good.
And then do other things that might be in that same bucket or same category. And so again, the irritation is about the fact that, like, I gotta ask you, like, just do it.
Yeah,
Like,
that's good. Yeah, it's like you can stay on the surface, you can check the box, but if I can't feel you, this is why we talk about connection so much. It's so important to stay connected, because if I can't feel you, if I can't feel him, I'm not going to be motivated to do some of the things I know we need to do, and to talk through and work through some of the hard places and spaces, because I don't feel him. He don't feel me. You got to stay connected, and that part is really important. Another question: how would you handle depression in your marriage if one partner was just always feeling down? That is such a phenomenal question. I appreciate that question. If one partner was just always feeling down. So for those who don't know, I don't know. I mean, some folks might not know. We are therapists. We're relationship coaches. I am a mental health advocate, and I had my own mental health challenges from the time I was a young person on up to adulthood. And so I'm a real advocate of normalizing the fact that everybody got mental health issues on some level. The same way everybody got some physical issues, everybody got some mental health issues, right? We all have challenges at some point in time physically. So our mental health should be regarded and revered and taken care of the same way our physical health has to be. And as Black folks specifically and particularly, we need to pay attention to that, and not just pray it away, not just be like, don't claim that, you ain't got, don't even put that out there. Just make room for all of who you are, and that, when you do that, things are actually a lot easier. So to get to your question, I've done said about 25,000 words before I actually answering your question. I think you have to make room for your partner. Here's one of the things that's this is one of the things that's hard about having a spouse who is dealing with depression. The ideal thing in my mind would be that they would be open to counseling, going to get some help, being in a support group. I'm an advocate of groups, going to talk to some folks. Now, counseling is great, one-on-one is great, but we are folks like, get in a group, go to a group, go talk to multiple people who can identify with you. Hopefully they're open to that. I'm not an advocate of medication, but I am not opposed to medication. I think that it is appropriate and needed sometimes, and other times it's not. I've been on medication in the past. I've been on medication for depression as a young person. So, I would hope that you're able to have a safe space with them so that you can share with them, how you're experiencing them. Sometimes when we're depressed, when we're dealing with stuff, we don't see ourselves. We don't even see how we're like impacting the environment, like what our energy is like, Well, I don't know why this is bringing this up. This ain't got nothing to do with me and married, but I remember, I don't know why this just popped in my head. It's so many years ago. I was in college. I was in my freshman year of college. I think you're okay with me sharing this.
I don't know what you're about to say. But go ahead.
I think you're fine. I think you're like, there's more. I think you're okay. Anyway, I was in my
Well, you're
freshman
about to
year of
find out.
college. We're high school sweethearts. And I was in my freshman year of college. And you know what happened? And we had to go to North Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Are you for real? Because your face looks unsure.
Yeah, it's fine.
Seriously?
Have you had conversations with our children?
Yeah, with our daughters.
Okay.
Like, we're doing a whole conversation. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not going to go into it too deep. Anyway, I was a freshman. My husband was a freshman at Bowie State University. I was at Clark Atlanta we got pregnant and we had an abortion. Okay, like what the hell does this have to do with anything? I don't think I even really ever said this out loud to anybody. I mean, I have, but not on social media. So anyway, this happened. And I remember talking to my friends who I was in school with maybe like a year later. And we were having a conversation. We were out somewhere and they said like, wow, I remember like that time, like they referenced that time period when we were in freshman year. Oh my God, like you were just like, I don't know what was going on with you. Like you were just, I mean, I know what you were dealing with, but you didn't do your hair. You was coming out going to class with your hair wrapped up. You wasn't hardly eating. You wasn't going out nowhere. You were just mean. Like all of this stuff. And I was like, for real? Like I couldn't say like, oh yeah, I remember that. I didn't know what they was talking about. I didn't recall that at all. So I say that to say that we don't oftentimes recognize the impact that we have on our spouses. And it's really important for us to be able to give feedback to our partners when they have mental health challenges, when they're depressed, whatever it is, to share, um, that like, hey, this is how you're showing up. This is how I'm experiencing you in a way that is supportive and that's safe, not judgy. You know what I'm saying? It's important for us to be able to do that because if you don't share, they might not ever know. So you don't want to be codependent.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, you have to make room for them because everybody has the right to self-determination. And they may be like, no, I'm not going to no counseling. And I'm not doing no medication. And I'm going to pray about it. And that's what it's going to be. Right. And you got to be able to make room for their right to be able to say, I'm working through this the way that I feel I need to. But you also have to be able to bring forward your need. So it's about balance, boundaries, truth telling, compassion, holding space, all of those things at once. It's definitely not an easy thing. I saw somebody say CAU, find a way and make one. Your daughter goes to CAU. Clark Atlanta represents. Yes. I just had to say that.
That was a different level of sharing. We're gonna come to you one
That
second.
was a different. I hadn't really shared that
Nina, we're
before.
gonna come to you in one
But
second.
it brought that up for me.
I see Steve's comment down here. I have found that if a person suffers from depression, there is nothing you can do to change it. You have to accept it and deal with it on their terms. Also, have no expectation of an end time or date. Find ways to cope while waiting.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because sometimes we say things like we want them to like, come on, get up out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it's gonna be all right. You know,
Mhm.
God's got it. You know, it's not that bad, right? Because you can see
Yeah.
from a different vantage point, but that's not helpful.
Mhm.
That's not helpful. So that's good, Steve. Thank you for that.
Mentor Coach Nina, it's on you, sis. Oh, let me unmute you.
All right, and we can come to a close. You're supposed to be taking me to
Hey,
the movies.
y'all.
Mm-hmm. Hey.
Hi.
I just wanted to circle back to the previous question about like your spouse asking you to do something for so long, and then you finally do it, and then
Mm-hmm.
they're like giving you attitude about it.
Yeah.
But where do you draw the line and like show your appreciation that they're changing? And like what part do you give them grace on instead of, well, you should have been doing this or something like that? Like we have to get past like what they weren't doing, and if they're doing it now, why do you still have an attitude?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I actually think that that's a excellent kind of like balancing perspective that you have to give grace and be able to see, that they're making changes, they're making efforts now. But here's what we
Yeah.
always say, just to bring it back to kind of our core teaching for everybody who's a guest here tonight. The person who asked the question, right, was the brother, right? Was it? Yeah, he said, I'm trying to do all these things for my wife, and she ain't, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. She don't be saying it, or she be getting irritated or whatever. She says I'm getting on her nerves. So what we always say, like if we're talking to you, we're talking to both partners. You have to look at where do you need to shift and where do you need to change. Nina's point is really well taken that she probably needs to pull back, right? But it is not your job, brother, to be able to tell her that. It's not your job to share that with her, to say, this is how you need to do. And, do you recognize that you're not doing da-da-da? There's a disconnect happening, and you need to be able to look at what are the unmet needs for her. And how is it that you are missing the mark by asking the question? Now, sometimes people just all the way off. You can't please them. they just hella off, right? But once you've done the work of really looking at yourself and not focusing on them and what they need to do or don't need to do, then you can start to shift and say, I'm not, as Nina talked about, I'm feeling unappreciated, right? Not what they need to do. You're talking about yourself. I'm feeling unappreciated. I'm not feeling like my efforts are being seen or felt. I feel like I'm hitting a brick wall and I'm really putting my heart into this, and I'm feeling a little, kind of hopeless about being able to, get some kudos from you or something, right? So then that's still you not talking about them, but you talking about yourself and how you're experiencing them. So thank you for that. I appreciate you bringing that forward. That's going to come up for us, but make sure you exhaust everything that you might not be seeing first about how you're showing up. And then you can get feedback, but you still do it from a place of looking at your own experience, not telling them what they need to do. Because that don't never work. How many people know that don't never work? Don't tell them about what they need to do or what you're not doing or none of that stuff. Because what we going to say? Don't nobody want to hear that? Right? I don't want to hear that from him, and he don't want to hear that from me, which is why we are always looking at where do I need to shift and grow. It's a discipline, right? You know what I'm saying? We be out here in the relationship. What's this? What am I doing?
I don't know what you're doing.
It's like
It's that phone,
samurai.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's a discipline. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to do it when you don't want to do it. So I hope that was helpful, and thank you for bringing that forward.
I like what Graham said. He said that what did Graham say? I'm trying to find it.
Oh.
He said something about being when you're in a fog, you don't see the edges. Something along those lines.
Oh, when you're in depression.
Yeah.
Depression.
So I'm switching back to the other topic, and I think that's good. Like it's everything is clouded, and you're just really trying to survive, trying to make it from one day to the next, trying to put one foot in front of the other, and sometimes you need help just lifting one leg up so you can take a step forward.
Yeah.
It'd be like that.
Thank you, Blamely, for all y'all's love. I appreciate it. All right, y'all. I think we are complete. I think we are here at the end. This has been an amazing relationship Q&A. I love coming and connecting with you guys. Again, if you came on a little bit later or you heard us but you ain't really pay attention, excuse me, go to blamchallenge.com, blamchallenge.com to sign up for our upcoming challenge next week. It is 5 days, y'all, 5 days to more effective communication. It is our signature challenge.
Yes.
Put that bump on it. It's our signature challenge, and you can participate and hang out with us, be with us for the full 5 days, do the homework. We have after parties and study halls, and this is like this, y'all. We can't, except for the Blamely, we can't really see y'all on social media. Y'all can't see us. You can't unmute yourself and talk, but when you do the challenge, you can experience it that way.
Yeah.
Right? So we want you to please sign up, all of our Blamely members. You already know you should be signed up. If you ain't signed up, I don't know what you're doing. Blamechallenge.com. So thank you, everybody, so much for coming out tonight. We appreciate you guys. And I guess I'll just go ahead and say, right after the challenge, I heard on the streets that it's a podcast launching.
Oh, yeah? You heard that?
I heard that out there. I heard it's a podcast called Relationship Tea. Relationship Tea is launching right after the challenge on January the 16th. We have some amazing content that we have been stacking, amazing interviews with amazing people, some really intimate, good conversation between myself and my husband. I just love doing this work with you because we be having some good conversation. I'm like, damn, if we hadn't did that for the podcast, I might have never known that. Or for the live stream, you got to have ways to be able to connect in with your partner that are just yours.
Yeah.
And we have our ways that are just ours, but also doing this work together has been so helpful just in terms of growing our own relationships. So be on the lookout for that. Go to blamechallenge.com to sign up for the challenge. Y'all might see us sit here for a second while we try to turn off all these things.
Yeah, I'm
y'all.
gonna sit back just for like maybe 10 minutes with the Blamely.
Oh, you're going to sit back with the Blamely?
Yeah,
And I'm
answer
going to
any
go get the
questions that they
tickets.
got.
All right. Bye, everybody. Bye. Not Blamely, y'all stay on. Bye, YouTube. Bye, Instagram. Bye, everybody. Get up off of that, though.
I'm trying.
Okay. Bye,
Get
y'all.
up off of Instagram.
This is how we don't be on.